being on live. I have a very bad rash. I had an allergic reaction. I celebrated my birthday, March 25th. I think my throat swelled up on the inside, and I've been like this for days. I have webs all over my body. I'm going to the doctor. I started to go on Friday, so I won't talk much. Forgive my appearance, but this is very important for me to show you. The reason why it's important for me to show you is because I am in a similar situation with my own son being unfairly tricked into coming to a DA's office and being asked to come under false pretenses that they were settling his case where he was shot 5 times, had his spleen and his appendix removed. And I'm praying for you all to pray for me and my son because this happened in 2022. And the next year, there was another incident a year later where he was shot and made it out alive when individuals came in his home and pulled guns on him, and he made it out okay. These prosecutors, the district attorney's office, the police, they cover up so much stuff that they do and how they do it to even the playing field, which is totally wrong and against God. God set up the judicial system, judges and kings and authorities in place for his people to rule over them and do the right things. And there is scripture behind that, but I won't say as much as I can with my voice being low. But I am so thankful for this trial. I've watched it from day one, and I'm going to break it down from you as much as I can. I've been following another case, which is brought by this same district attorney, Fannie Willis. She brought 2 cases. Both, I believe, allegedly are for political aspirations and being used as a puppet for whatever systems, the powers that be, being used in that capacity. There's a price that you pay. Well, she has already been uncovered, and it is not going to end well for her. But I pray for God's grace and mercy for her, nevertheless. But she has assigned individuals to do this young thug trial that I've been promising you guys that I will talk about and explain. It is so much. I would have to start from the beginning, but being in the condition I am, I'm going to say this, and just as a nutshell to bring it all together. This young woman had been incarcerated 3 times. She had been in the system for selling drugs. She had been in the system for being uh, a part of a relationship with a rapper. She has been a friend or an associate with the rappers. Young Thug's friend is her baby's father. And this woman was brought under false pretenses that the state would do something to help her. And in saying they would help her, one of the investigators, Mr. Hamilton, told her not to respond to anybody but himself, began to SA her and tell her he wanted a date afterwards when all this is over, because apparently she's an attractive young lady. And when women are attractive, people tend to try to take advantage and think they can when they're in these positions of power, like this investigator was in, threatening allegedly jail time or going to jail to get what they want from these individuals that they use as witnesses to put our people down and to incarcerate them. They get at least maybe $1,500 a day to care for an adult individual, quote unquote, allegedly. The prison system is unjust and it is made to make money off of our backs. And I just want to say this: God is uncovering. He hasn't finished. He started in 2023. He hasn't finished. And I'm going to be part of this verbally on this YouTube channel because I actually experienced having to, under false pretenses, go down with my son, being called in a meeting with the district attorneys about a case where he was shot. But they falsely said it was about the first case and his restitution. And they switched it up while we were in there and said, no, it's not about that. That case is dismissed. We received a letter with an indictment from the grand jury that this case was indicted and it will go to trial in March of 2023. How come, and I'm saying her name, Gail Richardson, who was assigned as his victim services coordinator, never contacted my son about anything to let him know that the district attorney who's trying to run for office, Mr. Bouchard in Alabama, in Huntsville, Alabama, trying to run for office. And I have no way to put this out except during my YouTube video. Do not vote for this individual. Their office is corrupt. They are trying to unfairly sentence our Black youths. I know this happened to my son, but you're not going to use my son to unfairly sentence someone when the first case you have not even taken care of to investigate thoroughly and know that you have evidence. Know that there's video footage of the gun being pointed at my son. Know there is video footage of a young lady assaulting my son. Know that this gentleman that came supposedly to a rescue stole something out of my son's place, knowing that my son's girlfriend was there as a witness, knowing that all this information was available, but you decided to dismiss my case for my son. The indictment was handed down from the grand jury, and you tell me that you call us in there under false pretenses, and we just find out in that day that that case was improperly and unfairly dismissed without my son knowing. My son was crushed, devastated, hurt. And there were witnesses ready to testify. There is video footage. These detectives don't care about getting the information, or either they hand the information to the DA and the DA twists it and turns it and decides to do what they will. Maybe they're paid off allegedly. I understand what this young lady went through. So on the stand, and I'll report this on another day, this woman was unfairly harassed by the detective, DA Love. That's her last name. Questioned, treated badly, knowing that this young lady shared information with her about her mother passing in 2013. So they're pulling almost 300 witnesses to do this case against Young Thug. And all these witnesses are people that they're trying to fix these testimonies to fit a narrative just for DA Fannie Willis to be able to get her name in shining lights. DA Fannie Willis, God is going to have his just due. This is just the beginning. This, what I'm going to show you on my television, is his attorney, Atty Steel. He has another attorney, Attorney Adams. They're fighting for justice and fighting that this case goes along fairly and justly, and finding out there are police narratives that are put in witnesses' statements. They're putting words in witnesses' mouths, and it's for the whole world to see. And this young lady stood bravely on the witness stand. So it'll be part two. But part one is Attorney Steel discovered from the testimonies that this attorney unfairly used her position of confidence with this woman and tried to testify on behalf of the woman while she's asking the questions. So, what I'm going to do is really quick and brief. I don't know how long this charge will stay, but whatever it catches will catch up the rest. Pray my strength in the Lord. Okay? So, we're going to get started.
I believe that from listening to the conversation between the prosecutor and Ms. Bennett, the prosecutor has interjected her personal knowledge and of facts in this case and has become an unsworn witness. That's a big problem, and that's what it's called, unsworn witness problem, because the lawyer is making factual assertions without being sworn. And when the lawyer is a prosecutor, that error goes to the heart of fundamental fairness and due process of law, and thus is a constitutional issue. Mr. Williams and the others cannot receive a fair trial, because what has really happened, Your Honor, and this, I'll give you the cases, what really happened is now the jury has to determine, is Ms. Bennett truthful or is Ms. Prosecutor truthful? And that's not the way it's supposed to be. A lawyer shall not assert personal knowledge of facts in an issue except when testifying as a witness. Generally, the law prohibits a lawyer from acting as an advocate at trial, where the lawyer is also becoming a witness. There is no doubt that assertions of fact from counsel as to the content of prior conversations with a witness have the effect of making a witness of the lawyer and allowing his or her credibility to be substituted for that of the witness. This practice is improper. And, Your Honor, in Turner, TUR-NER versus Louisiana, that's 379 U.S. 466. It's at 472 through 473. It's 1965 U.S. Supreme Court. In a constitutional sense, trial by jury in a criminal case is necessarily implies, at the very least, that the evidence developed against the accused shall come from the witness stand in a public forum with full judicial with full judicial protection of the accused's right of confrontation and cross-examination by counsel. It's also a bar rule, and it's 3 Georgia Rule of Professional Conduct 3.7 comment 2, and as well as Georgia Rule of Professional Responsibility and Conduct 8.4A1. A lawyer cannot do indirectly what it cannot do directly, meaning the lawyer can't take the witness stand and become the advocate, and that's exactly what happened now. There are private conversations that we have not heard about between Ms. Bennett and the prosecutor. Ms. Bennett alluded to that on 2 occasions, and you breached your word to me because they're supposed to be private. I don't know what those conversations were, except one is definitely dealing with a parent, it sounds like. There were several series of questions by the prosecutor. Isn't it true you told me? And then a separate section was, isn't it true that I told you? And whatever it is. And here, the prosecutor at issue repeatedly and specifically referenced conversations between herself and Ms. Bennett in a vehicle and on a courthouse bench, with the prosecutor repeating the statements. The prosecutor relied upon her own unsworn repudiation or statement of what the witness's statements were. We cannot confront her. In United States versus Lacasia.
Before he says that, what he's saying is this DA sat down with the witness and had conversation, and then turned around and used the conversation during her cross-examination of the witness during her examination of the witness. And she would say things like, "True that you said this? And isn't it true that I said this to you?" And she repeated conversation that she told the witness it was confidential that we have this conversation. Now, when there is a witness has to be read their rights just before being a witness. So they'll know their rights. And what he's stating and citing, about to cite, is from the John Gotti case, from Megan Cuniff. Give a shout out to her. 26 minutes ago, we got this from her. And I watched this when it aired live.
Locascio, Locascio, and that's 6 F third 924 934, Your Honor. It's a Second Circuit 1993 case. Your Honor, this is the John Gotti case. The Second Circuit wrote that the unsworn witness problem arises when the attorney was a participant in events to be explained at trial, and therefore the attorney may convey firsthand knowledge of events without being sworn as a witness, and therefore not subject to cross-examination. That is not allowed. Mr.
Not allowed.
Williams asserts that he is entitled to cross-examination of the prosecutor, because now what has happened is the prosecutor has put the state, the weight of the state, the pride of the state of Georgia behind her words, and we can't cross-examine her. This is from Dillon, Dillon versus Kentucky. It is 475 Southwest 3D, H1, 2015.
So what he's saying now is they can't cross-examine the DA because she's not a witness, and that's not fair. And she inserted herself in all of this by her questions and by her statements, and asking questions in the form of a statement. So Jeffrey Williams, young thug, is supposed to be able to cross-examine any witness that is against him. And in this case, he's not able to cross-examine the DA because the DA is not a sworn witness.
The lawyer is not excusable in making any statement of fact outside of the evidence in which may be in the slightest degree prejudicial to the rights of the accused. In this case, the Commonwealth's attorney, not as a witness, made a statement of fact which flatly contradicted the witness in the minds of the jury. It made the witness look like she was perjuring herself. There was a plain course.
So when the lawyer made those statements, what the jury has to decide is this witness lying? Because the lawyer is making those statements as if, didn't you say this? Didn't you say this? And the witness is saying, no, no, no. So the jury will have to decide, should we believe the witness or should we believe the DA?
For the Commonwealth's attorney to pursue, either to introduce himself or judging, says Horman, Horman, as a witness to contradict, but in seeking to take this course, he should have kept silent as to what occurred in the witness room, for the reason that a repetition of it, not under oath, in the hearing of the jury was incompetent evidence, and of the character very damaging to the rights of appellant, which doubtless left an unfavorable impression in the minds of the jury, notwithstanding the admonishment of the court. Your Honor, in
Sorry about that. What he's doing is he's going over the things that the DA did wrong and incorrectly.
the Rule 3.7, Comment 2, a lawyer shall not, in a trial, assert personal knowledge of facts in issue except when testifying as a witness. Generally, a lawyer must be prohibited from acting as an advocate at trial where the lawyer is likely to be a necessary witness. I'm raising that early. This is a very serious issue. But here, I don't know how we got here. But all I know is I sit there and I see text messages between the prosecutor and a witness that are now in evidence, and the prosecutor saying, "Didn't you tell me," etc. I'm not going to repeat, of course. But that is my motion. And my motion is that for whatever reason that was done, the state of Georgia has caused one of their prosecutors that now has to be lifted from this case. If not, I'm moving for a mistrial because I cannot cross-examine an unsworn witness. Lastly, Your Honor, this is a separate issue. I would like the phone of Ms. Bennett to be returned to her because I believe, based on what I'm hearing, that there is exculpatory information on that phone. That phone is being held by the Fulton County DA's office. I've not seen the process that this court ordered, but I did see a video. And I will tell you that according to the video that I saw, I may be wrong, but according to the video I saw, Ms. Bennett did not have her phone on her when she's arrested, so it should not have been put in property. And it's not in property, it's through the DA's office, and I'd like to look at that phone if Ms. Bennett allows me. I don't have any other way to do it.
Okay, now this is to add to it. Miss Bennett's phone was confiscated by the DA and they will not return it. And it was not part of the arrest. So, however, they got the phone was illegal. There was no warrant, but they have that phone in their possession. And that came out in that hearing. That I know we're going backwards, but you'll get a chance to see it. But during that hearing, the phone was discussed, the text messages were discussed. Miss Bennett discussed that Mr. Hamilton was coming on to her, trying to date her, and she did not want to accept his calls any longer, but she told him that she would be at court that morning. She said she blocked him from calling her because he was calling at ungodly hours of the night, allegedly. And that's what happened. So now what they did was they went and arrested her, got a warrant to arrest her, lied to the judge allegedly, saying that she's not trying to come to court, judge. So we need to arrest her. But I see it as just a ploy or a play to get into getting that woman's phone so that they could have that record. And they have it illegally. They should never have had it. It was not a part of the arrest. Attorney Steel is now alleging.
Without having it, I can't ask her for it because she doesn't have it. So those are my issues. I want to raise them today because they're right, and I don't know how we're here, but that's my issue.
Your Honor, as this is a matter that Mr. Steele has brought up before this court orally, we would ask that the court require that he reduce or place his motion in writing so that the state may properly respond. We would ask that the court require that Mr. Steele, in his written motion, provide any legal support he has for the assertions he is making to the court, regardless of the fact that he said, "I just wanted to put the court on notice." He has moved this court. I believe that this is not a proper motion to be made orally, that it is one that should and necessarily needs to be made in writing, and the state given the proper opportunity to respond in writing with legal support for the state's position. And I'd ask that the court allow us to properly address this motion before this honorable court, either on next week while the jury is in recess or at any other time that the court deems proper.
Mr. Steele, can you reduce it to writing by Monday?
And Your Honor, I'd ask that we be allowed to and required to provide the court with a brief in support of our respective.
You got till Wednesday.
Thank you. That is perfect.
Mr. Steele's going to turn in his written product to or file it by the first of April. You'll need to turn in yours by the 3rd.
Thank you, Judge. And he will be briefing his
I need a written motion. I concur. I agree with the state that it needs to be put in writing. Your assertions and allegations, Mr. Steele, and then I'll let the state respond to that, and then I'll hear argument on that issue appropriately, and enter an order to that effect. All right, that's the first thing. That covers that, the counsel's witness issue. All right, what about the Miss Bennett's phone? I think the same thing, Mr. Steele. It's probably going to need to be put in writing. At this point, or what I could do is
If you would just be quiet.
Court is releasing essentially Ms. Bennett on a recognizance bond.
I was going to say,
Phones back, you're not at all to turn it over to Mr. Steele, but we would have to.
well, what I would do is, because the search of one's phone requires a warrant, and you're not, so she can have her phone back, and if she wants to let anybody look, I mean, if the state wants to use the process authorized by law for, to do that, that's your course. I think then, but the defense, the only thing they can do is just ask Ms. Bennett if we can take a look at her phone, what's in her phone. That's her call. So, but you're saying at this time, Miss Love, you don't have the issue with returning her phone to her?
No, not.
Okay.
Released.
Why do you have the
All
phone?
right, then that can occur, and Mr. Steele and others, you can ask her if she's willing to turn over any of the whatever is relevant to your inquiry. I'll leave that up to you all. That suffice? Okay. All right.
Real quickly, let me see if I can get these thumbnails for you. Sorry about that. Okay, really quickly. So I have a little time. So I'll kind of bring you in up to speed on some of the cross examination of, if I can get it really quickly for you. The young lady, she was brought out of the jail in handcuffs. This woman has been arrested 3 times. She lost her job because these people kept coming at her. She's been incarcerated 3 times in 2013. She had no idea she was going to be brought up for this RICO. There was no arrest. Nothing ever happened to her regarding this incident at all. It is just the hardcore facts of how we are treated as Black, whatever you want to say, African Americans or Black Americans, and taken advantage of. I can go right to a thing from EBAN. That's what I always go to EBAN. That's my partner, and I like watching him. I have the history right here. The trial was, she was just an unsworn witness, and it was horrible how they just came and arrested her to just all of a sudden show up for court. They could have brought any other witness up, but they arrested her and made her show up through arresting her. She was released after that. The judge did kind of release her. She said that she wasn't trying not to go to court, but she was being sexually harassed, essayed rather, allegedly, by the DA's detective or investigator that was investigating this case with the DA. And this is day number, I want to say, day number 51 And as much as I'm trying to, I want you to get a little bit of it. It's sad. It's sad how they have done this case. It's been very sad to use anything they can just to get this done. Let me go ahead quickly. I'm browsing through so that you guys can get a little bit of history so that you don't wonder, well, what happened? How did this come about? We'll go to Eban Films. I ask that you subscribe to my friend Eban, EBAN Films, FILMS. And they apparently put her on trial as they want to say a hostile witness. But she said she didn't have a problem with going to trial. Okay, let's get here. Let's start here. Yes, this doesn't seem very long right here. Day 50. We'll see if that's the one we're talking about. Okay. All right. Just one moment. Let me turn this camera around. Okay. Let's go.
AC Booker, Higgins, capital A, capital C, Booker,
Wrong one.
B-O-O.
Hold on one moment. That was day 50. That was the day before. The day 51. I want to get to day 51 for you, if I can, where they discuss this young lady coming up and testifying. Just want a little bit of it so that you can kind of wrap your head around around the whole thing. Let's see if this. New witness. Here we go.
What's your first initial, Mac?
Let's try this. This is the cross-examination from Attorney
What's your
Adams.
first initial, madam?
A,
And could you spell your last name for us?
B-E-N-N-E-T-T.
This is her.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, with the court's permission, as long as the defendant promises that nothing will happen to you, so we'd like to have the cuffs removed from her and is there.
Yes.
So she's
And we have the
handcuffed.
cuffs removed from her.
Yes, ma'am.
They didn't even offer her clothes. They wanted to do this power play to intimidate her. And I'm going to give you a little ending to this on what happened when I left the DA's office with my son and how they tried to unarm our children so that they're at the mercy of the DA's office and they can sentence them and do whatever. Did you know that as teenagers, you can't even go in and talk with your child, that your child has to make the decision to plead guilty or not guilty alone by themselves? You can't go as their parent, their mom.
Ms. Bennett, you and I have had a chance to speak before you come into court. Is that right?
Yes, briefly.
And that was last year, before the 2024 came, is that right?
No.
I'm gonna allow it just a little bit, Mr. Adams.
Have you met more than once?
No.
Do you recall a meeting with me and an investigator with our office in a Wendy's parking lot on Road Avenue?
Yes.
And have we talked outside this courtroom in the hallway?
Briefly.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Now her mic just went out, Your Honor.
Now, this is what gets me. We can hear her, but she pretends that something's going on with her mic.
You said briefly?
This is just a tactic, allegedly, that I think.
Now, let me start off by asking, do you want to be here today?
Objection, Rollins.
I'll rule an objection.
Go ahead.
You can answer the question now.
Yeah.
No.
Judge, I think there is something else.
Yeah, ma'am.
See, we all heard her said no, but she keeps saying something. This is the DA questioning her, saying something's wrong with the
Jody got
mic.
magic powers. They playing with the wrong one.
That's Young Thug in the sweater. His attorneys are to the right and left of him.
Go ahead.
And he also has co-defendants that are in the audience with their attorneys.
Answer, yeah, I'll rule the objection.
Answer it again.
You can answer it, yes, ma'am.
No.
And are you here voluntarily or were you forced to come here?
I feel like I was forced to come here.
And Ms. Bennett, I apologize, but we had to have you come in and you had to have.
Hold on. Mr.
What's up
Matthews
with the
and then
mics?
Mr.
They gotta
Adams.
get this to us.
What's it? Oh, I'll sustain the objection.
They just cut her mic.
And why you were calling here to court today.
Not really.
Yo.
Ms. Bennett, did you grow up in Atlanta?
Yes, ma'am. Born and raised.
And what part of Atlanta did you grow up in?
Can you say what part? I lived in a lot of parts of Atlanta.
Say it again.
I lived in a lot of parts of Atlanta.
Yo, somebody trolling.
13, Ms. Bennett, where did you live?
I'm Confederate.
I don't care what nobody say.
Hold on. What's the basis for you?
Judge, I think, if I may, it literally, the sound is going in and out as she speaks.
Let me,
Here's
Bennett, if you feel comfortable, do you mind taking off your mask? If you
All
can,
audio.
like to, I think we'd be able to probably hear you a little bit better. But that's up to you, madam.
It's
If you,
audio,
No, I only got on the mask because within the last 7 days, my grandma, she just had COVID, and I just did my test.
in
So
one ear.
they told me wear a mask.
okay, all right. I think that answers that question, Mr. Adams.
I'm glad she wasn't made to take off her mask. It's just her trying to intimidate her, allegedly.
So that I could hear you without even having a microphone. Can you do that for me?
What?
I'm talking loud as I can.
Independency, Miss, I've got the same
Yo,
kind
how
of.
did the audio go bad? This is crazy.
It's
It was fine.
coming in and out. Let me. make
I
a
can
phone
hear
call.
it.
What?
That is a shame. I can hear it. Maybe it's something they're not hearing, but I can hear it. And it is just a shame to send this woman through this.
Yo. Shorty got magic powers, bro. She Haitian or something.
Hey, can you have Aaron or somebody from tech come over and troubleshoot our speakers? They're not coming on. Sound seems to not be coming out. Maybe we go right now. Please come on, okay? All right, thank you.
Yeah, I think it is. All right, let's try as much as we can. My mic seems to be working. Let's try yours again, Miss Bennett.
Testing.
Good. All right. Don't touch nothing. Nobody. Nobody. What I tell you, Mr. Matthews, you don't touch
Whatever.
nothing.
Come on, Judge.
All right, let's see if we can kind of get through this. All right, go ahead now.
They slightly distorted.
Without giving names, just in relation to you, if anyone, who lived with you in 2013 on Confederate Avenue?
Repeat it again.
What relations, what relatives of yours live with you in 2013?
Oh, my kids and my kids' father.
How old were your kids in 2013?
Okay.
How old are they now?
Well, I have a son that was born in 2013,
And what month was your son born?
January.
So on Mother's Day 2013, you were the mother of 2 children.
Yes.
Whoa.
Now, how long had you lived at Confederate Avenue by the time 2013 came around?
I'm not sure.
Did you live in an apartment, a house, or something else?
Before I lived on Confederate
On Confederate.
apartment,
What was the name of those apartments?
Trust Street Village.
Ms. Bennett, I'm going to approach you and show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 1 Alpha Alpha.
Have you already shown that to defense counsel, madam?
I have a copy for them.
All right.
They have been served previously.
All right, well, let them take a look at it before you approach the witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's sent to them, the PowerPoint that has all of these exhibits in them. So I'm showing 1 Alpha Alpha counsel. Your Honor, I will approach the witness.
Is Doug really staring at her like that?
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that.
Gotcha.
Bro,
Okay, yes, you may approach.
chill, bro.
Ms. Bennett, I'm showing you what has been labeled as State's Exhibit 1 Alpha Alpha. Do you recognize those apartments?
Don't just look like a snake.
State's Exhibit 1 Alpha Alpha.
It's kind of look similar unless they did a little different work to it.
When you say this kind of looks similar, what do you mean?
Like the layout of the building kind of looks similar.
And now I'm going to show you what has been labeled as State's Exhibit 8 Alpha Alpha. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 8 Alpha Alpha?
It looked like a door.
Is it your testimony that you do not recognize it?
No,
It is not your testimony?
I just know it looked like a door.
Okay. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 13 Alpha Alpha?
No, ma'am.
What about 14 Alpha Alpha?
No, ma'am.
15 Alpha Alpha?
Is it something I'm supposed to be looking for in it so I can know what it is?
You're just supposed to tell the jury whether you recognize those photographs or the items depicted inside the photographs.
No, ma'am.
State's Exhibit 17 Alpha Alpha?
No, ma'am.
State's Exhibit 20 Alpha Alpha?
No, ma'am.
State's Exhibit 22 Alpha Alpha?
No, ma'am.
No, thank you. I'm gonna take these back. Ms. Bennett. How old were you on Mother's Day of 2013? Let me just ask you this, what year were you born?
86.
86? And were you working during that time outside the home?
I don't remember.
Were your parents, was your mother alive in 2013?
You had to ask me like that about my mother.
Ma'am.
Why you say, was she alive?
Did you have a family structure around you in 2013?
Because I know you posted.
Ms. Bennett, I'm gonna move away from that and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the first time that you and I met, okay? Do you need a moment?
Ms. Bennett, just let us know when you're ready, okay?
I'm ready, but did she even have to do that?
And
Like, for
please
real?
don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
You're
Leave a comment letting us know if Thugger is going to make
I
out.
already-
Just let.
I talked to Miss Love about my mom like that. That's a tragic situation for me. Like I haven't talked about this. I haven't grieved about this.
Okay, all right, go ahead, madam.
Ms. Bennett, I'm gonna wait until you tell me that you're ready to move.
Come on, Miss Love.
And I apologize for bringing that.
You ain't gotta apologize. I know you did it on purpose. It's all good.
Yeah, let's get with it.
Hold on 1 second, Ms. Lowe. Just 1 second.
Yeah. I know you did it on purpose. Yeah.
That voice you hear is the commentator for Eban Films named Posted. You have to check his channel out. Shout out to
Ms. Bennett, I'm gonna
Eban.
move away from that and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the first time that you and I met, okay?
It ain't black on black, it's boule on black.
Do you need a moment?
Ms. Bennett, just let us know when you're ready, okay?
I'm ready, but did she even have to do that? Like, for real?
You're subject to examination.
They teach him to do that.
So, just let us know whenever you feel you're ready to go forward, okay?
I'm ready to. I talked to Miss Love about my mom like that. That's a tragic situation for me. Like I haven't talked about this. I haven't grieved about this.
Okay, all right, go ahead, madam.
Ms. Bennett, I'm gonna wait until you tell me that you're ready to move.
Come on, Miss Love.
And I apologize for bringing that.
You ain't gotta apologize. I know you did it on purpose. It's all good.
Hold on 1 second, Ms. Lowe. Just 1 second.
She's getting herself together, guys. I'm only going to show you a portion of this. What I really want to get to is her questioning. So let me try to skip ahead a little bit, because Miss Love's questioning is what Mr. Steele was discussing, is how she inserted herself in the questioning and made statements as if what she was saying was true and the answers Ms. Bennett was saying was the opposite. So it leaves the jury in a position to decide who's telling the truth and who's not. And so that is why he cited the John Gotti case, saying that the DA unfairly and illegally, according to the bar, inserted herself as an unsworn witness. That's the point we're here today for. And I'm backing up to show you what happened before he made those statements.
I told you that, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And you spoke to me, or did you speak to me about getting some tragic information while you were locked up?
About when I was locked up? Yes.
And did that cause you to have any feelings of resentment towards the state?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
I won't rule the objection, Mr. Matthews. I'll make it a continuing objection. Overrule, sir.
Can you repeat it?
Did what happened to you have an effect on you and your feelings towards the state?
Yes.
How did they affect your feelings towards the state?
Your Honor, also make an objection to affirmation.
Overrule, sir.
And see, this is the point I'm making, that the DA's office can do things to make you feel a certain way towards the state, who's supposed to be protecting you as a witness or a client, but they have some shady practices that make you feel like they're suspect and they're not protecting you, which 8 times out of 10, they're not. They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about the next election or the next promotion or how to put another person in jail. That's all that's on their mind, not the totality of any situation.
Mm-hmm.
Most times, allegedly.
It just made me feel like, like they weren't trustworthy or something.
Here you go.
Like a lot of things had happened.
I'm sorry that you were made to feel that way. When was it that you were?
I'm gonna object and ask that last statement from the state is stricken as an vote.
Yeah.
I'm overrule the objection, Mr. Adams.
Ms. Bennett, when was it that you were locked up, as you just referenced? What year?
2013, 2015 to 2017.
In 2015, is that when you went to the Department of Corrections?
Yeah, I went to prison.
In 2013, were you in prison?
No, I was in Clayton. I think Clayton.
In 2013, were you out on bond for charges in Clayton?
I can't remember if it was Clayton or Fulton.
I'm going to show you what I will have marked as exhibit number.
I'm doing the best I can, guys. I'm itching.
And I'll ask you to take a look at it.
Give me some likes on this video too, guys. Please, if you don't mind, if you're watching it to this link, at least like the video. Now, right now, they're going, you're not going to be able to hear anything. They're going up and they're meeting. I want to get to the point where she's asking her questions. Here we go.
Ms. Bennett, would you look at the document and tell me if it refreshes your memory as to whether or not your charges in 2013 were from Fulton or Clayton?
Ms. Bennett, let's take as long as you need to look at that document. When you're finished with it, let Ms. Love know, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor, the next document that I will show the witnesses is Exhibit 29 Alpha. I will allow Ms. Counsel to look at that while allowing it to the exhibit.
That's how you like my video.
Yes,
Just
they
like
said
that.
I was,
I'll read it out loud, just let me know if it kind of refreshes your memory about the charges you were facing in 2013.
yes,
Were the charges that you were facing in 2013 out of Clayton County or Fulton County?
this right here is Clayton.
And did those charges happen? In other words, did whatever it was that led to those charges, did that happen in 2011?
No,
When did that happen?
this happened in 2013.
So were you out on bond for those charges on Mother's Day 2013?
I'm not sure.
Now, if she was out on bond in 2013,
On May 12th, 2013, Mother's Day, did you own a firearm?
that was her trying to trick her up to see if she had violated anything, probably, allegedly.
What year this was?
2013.
In 2013. Yeah, I think I owned it maybe two firearms.
And what type of firearms did you own in 2013?
I really can't remember because I know the state, I think that's what you call it. They had one of my firearms and because I think I had to turn it in or something. Yeah, but I don't know which one.
Do you recall whether you owned a Caltech pistol in 2013?
I'm not sure.
In 2013, would you tell the jury the last name of your child's father that you lived with? Just the last name and first initial.
Anderson.
And what was the first initial?
M.
On Mother's Day, May 12, 2013, was your child's father friends with defendant Jeffrey Williams?
I'm not sure was they friends or not.
Do you know who Jeffrey Williams is?
Yeah, I do.
What do you call him?
Thug.
What did you call him in 2013?
Thug.
Do you recall when we met that you told me that your child's father was friends with Jeffrey Williams in 2013?
No, I didn't tell you what year. I told you that they did a video together, but I didn't know what year they did it.
And what video was it that they did together?
I don't know,
How do you know that they did a video together?
because I seen it.
Were you there while it was made, or did you just see it on YouTube or something else?
Mm-hmm. I seen it on YouTube.
And do you recall what song or what it was that they talked about in the video?
No.
On May 12th, 2013, did you know a person called DK?
No.
Did you report to the police on May 13th, 2013, that you knew a person by the name of DK?
No.
Did you report to the police in 2013, on May 13th, that you knew a person named Thug?
No.
Let me ask you this. You said you now know who Jeffrey Williams is. Are you afraid of Jeffrey Williams?
No, I know who he is. Cause y'all told me.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
Got a caprice bubble.
Police station at Zone 3, the Zone 3 precinct, on May 13th, 2013.
No.
Do you recall how far the Zone 3 police precinct was?
Notice
from
her
the
tone
where you lived
changed.
on May
Notice.
13th, 2013?
Notice how she went from nice to nasty.
No, I'm not sure how many minutes.
Say that for me.
I'm not sure how many minutes it is away.
Did you know where
10, 12, something.
10 or 12 minutes away?
Yeah.
And is that on foot or in a car or something else?
On foot. It's probably longer. Probably about a good 20 some minutes or so. Yeah.
And how was it, or how is it that you're familiar with where the Zone 3 precinct is, or was in 2013? Just tell the jury.
Say it again.
How are you familiar with where the Zone 3 precinct was in 2013? If you just tell the jury.
The precinct is by the zoo.
And you've seen it with your own eyes.
I'm from Atlanta.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Is that all right?
Yes.
Do you recall walking to that precinct on May 13th, 2013, the day after Mother's Day?
I wouldn't have no reason to walk. I had a car.
What type of car did you have at that time?
A Porsche.
A Porsche?
Yes.
Do you recall taking your youngest child, the one that was born in 2013, with you to the Zone 3 precinct on May 13th, 2013?
No.
Shorty just mega dragged on him. Shorty said I had the Porsche. Stop playing.
What you asked me was the same thing that I'm saying no to.
Do you recall speaking with an investigator at the Zone 3 precinct on May 13th, 2013? And I hear what you're saying, but I have to ask the question, okay?
I don't know how to answer the same thing over because you're asking it in different ways. So I don't know.
Your Honor. Ms. Bennett, I understand what you're saying, but I still have to ask you the question.
No.
On May 13th, 2013, do you recall riding in a car with your child and police investigators from the Zone 3 precinct?
Say it again.
Do you recall riding in a police car with your child from the Zone 3 precinct back to Trestle Tree?
No.
Do you recall telling the police that you were at home on Mother's Day at around 1 o'clock p.m.?
No.
Do you recall telling the police that on Mother's Day, May 12, 2013, you heard a knock at your door?
No.
Do you recall telling the police you asked who it was at your door after hearing a knock?
No.
Do you recall telling the police that you learned after asking that it was a friend of your child's father, known to you as Thug, who was at the door?
No.
Do you recall telling the police that you opened the door and let Thug inside your home?
No.
Did you ever say to the police that Thug's brother was also with him?
No.
And do you recall telling the police that you turned your back on Thug's brother, and a person you called DK after letting them in your home?
No.
That you turned your back on them to walk into the kitchen to make your baby a bottle?
No.
Do you recall telling the police that when you went to the kitchen, Thug's brother put a silver 9mm to the back of your head?
No. And my baby didn't even drink bottles. My baby was breastfed. So no.
Did you tell the police that the two suspects, that Thug, his brother, and DK demanded money from you and your gun?
No.
Did you report to the police that Thug, DK, and Thug's brother took your Versace necklace and approximately $100 off your kitchen table?
I never owned a Versace necklace.
Did you tell the police that they also took $4,000 and your rental car keys?
No, I thought you just said they took $100.
Off the table. And in addition to that, they took $4,000 from you and your rental car keys. Do you recall telling the police that?
No.
Do you recall telling the police that they placed your items inside a brown baby bag that also contained your red Dre headphones?
No.
Did you tell the police that DK took your Keltec model PLR-16 223 pistol?
No.
Did you tell the police that before leaving your apartment, DK fired a shot from your own gun into your living room wall?
No.
Did you tell the police that you waited for a long time before leaving the apartment after that happened?
No.
Did you tell the police that you stayed in a hotel for the night after being robbed by Thug, his brother, and DK?
No.
Did you tell the police that a neighbor told you that, Your Honor, we're not offering for the truth of the matter asserted, we're offering it for impact on the listener, which was Ms. Bennett at the time?
That's already been ruled upon, Judge.
Your Honor, we are asking whether or not she told this to the police and whether she explained that as her reason.
I'm on an overruled objection. I'm an overruled objection. As to that, but this question is proper to be asked.
Did you tell the police that a neighbor informed you that they had returned around 4 a.m. and shot up your apartment, and that is why you came a day later?
No, it wouldn't make sense to come a day later if I was robbed.
Did you tell the police that you only went to the police after talking with your mother, who convinced you to do so?
No.
Did you tell the police that the phone that was stolen from you was a HTC Boost mobile phone?
I never owned a Boost mobile phone.
Did you tell the police that the phone number of that telephone that was stolen was 404-734-7358?
No, ma'am. The phone I have, I've been having the same number since, I think, 05 or 06.
Did you tell the police that Thug, DK, and Thug's brother were answering your stolen cellular phone with that phone number?
I don't think that'll make sense, no.
Did you tell the police that all three, Thug, his brother, and DK, were out with your child's father the night before?
No.
Did you tell the police that they left the scene in a blue Dodge Challenger and a brown four-door, possibly a Nissan?
No.
Did you show to the police the bullet holes in your apartment?
No. The police never came to my house.
Did you tell the police that you reported the incident the next day because you were afraid and you know Thug, DK, and Thug's brother?
No,
Did you tell the police that during the robbery, only one shot was fired?
no,
Did you tell the police that the one shot that was fired was into the living room wall behind your couch?
no. I thought you said it was somewhere else, but no.
Did you tell the police that the other holes in your wall were from when they later returned?
Wait. Which part we talking about? Because it's confusing. You said I had one bullet hole, then now you're saying that I had some more. I don't understand what you're saying.
Did you report to the police that they shot up your home, according to your neighbors, at 4 a.m. on May 13th?
Yeah, my home was shot, but I never reported to the police that I did.
Did you show to the police a picture of Thug and DK on your cellular phone that you did still have?
No,
Did you tell the police that they later called you and apologized for doing what they did? And by they, I mean Thug, DK, and Thug's brother.
you just said they had my phone. How they called me?
Ms. Bennett, did you have more than one phone on May 12th, 2013?
I just said I've been having the same phone and phone number since like 2006.
You didn't answer that question for me?
I don't understand.
I'm old objection.
Did you ever have,
You said, did I ever have two cell phones? I said no already.
did you have a Metro PCS cell phone?
I still have it.
And
Well, y'all have it now.
what does that Metro PCS cell phone look like?
It's an iPhone.
It's an iPhone?
Yeah, man.
What iPhone? What type?
Apple.
iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one?
What I got? Probably 13, 14, something like that.
And is it your testimony that you had an iPhone 13 in 2013?
Did I have an iPhone 13 in 2013? My iPhone 13 was not in 2013.
Okay. So is it fair to say then that that cell phone, that Boost mobile cell phone that you had in 2013 is not the same one that you currently have today?
I didn't have Boost. Then you just said I had Metro. I've been with Metro since like 2005, 6 or something, and I've been having the same phone number.
But you didn't have the same phone, did you, in 2013 that you have today?
I'll sustain.
Every year,
Hold
iPhone
on,
drop.
hold on, Ms. Bennett. All right, I'm gonna sustain the objection. You can rephrase.
Thank you, Judge. Did you have the same phone in 2013 that you have today with Metro PCS?
I couldn't have.
Did you have a Samsung phone with Metro PCS in 2013?
No, ma'am.
I'm showing you State's Exhibit 23 Alpha Alpha. And I'll ask you if you recognize the items depicted in State's Exhibit 23 Alpha Alpha.
What you mean?
Do you recognize what is pictured in State's Exhibit 23 Alpha Alpha?
Do I recognize the picture?
Do you recognize the items depicted in State's Exhibit 23 Alpha Alpha?
Oh, no.
Do you recognize the people depicted in 23 Alpha Alpha?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm old.
Either one.
I'm old.
yeah, yeah. So,
And you're pointing to someone. Do you recognize one of the people in 23 Alpha Alpha?
you just asked.
Hold on, Ms. Bennett. Let me rule upon the objection. I sustain this to form. You could just rephrase now.
Yes, Your Honor. Do you recognize at least one of the people in State's Exhibit 23 Alpha Alpha?
Yes.
Which one?
The
Who?
the
Do you recognize the hand that is depicted in State's Exhibit 23 Alpha Alpha?
A hand?
I'll show it to you.
No.
How long have you known Thug?
I'm not sure.
Did you go to high school with him?
No.
Did you know him when you were in high school?
I'm pretty sure I'm older than him. I didn't go to high school with him, so he couldn't be in high school with me.
How old are you? I hate to ask if you knew. How old are you? Would you please tell us yours?
I told you when I was born.
I know, but I need the record to reflect your words. How old are you now?
I'm 37 now.
And why are you so pretty sure that you're older than Thug?
I'm just pretty sure I am.
Why do you think that?
I'll allow him.
He seemed young. He seemed younger than me.
Now, you're nodding your head as you speak. What are you motioning towards when you said he seems younger than me?
He seemed younger than me.
Are you motioning towards anyone in particular?
You just asked me about a person. I told you that person seems younger than me.
Where is that person in the courtroom right now?
He's sitting over there.
What is he wearing?
I don't know. I can't really see him like that. Somebody there in front of him.
Who is he sitting next to? Describe the two people on either side.
A man with a brown suit and a man with a gray suit.
Is the man with the brown suit a black man?
But you,
Yeah, we talking about race now.
And the one with the gray suit, is he wearing a red tie?
Yes.
Your Honor, with the record reflect that she is identified the defendant Jeffrey Williams as the person to whom she is referring. And Ms. Bennett, is that the same person that you're referring to as Thug?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett, when you had charges in Clayton County, did you have charges with your child's father, Michael Anderson?
Yes.
And the charges that you had in Fulton County, were they also with your child's father?
I don't think so.
The charges that you had in Fulton County, are those the charges, or at least some of the charges that you said you went into the Department of Corrections for in 2017?
No, I got out in 2017. I ain't going in 2017. I told you I went in 2015.
Thank you for correcting me.
It's okay.
Are the charges in Fulton County the ones that you went to the Department of Corrections for in 2015?
No, Clayton.
Did you ever go to prison for the charges in Fulton County?
I think it was both.
So you went to prison for the charges in Fulton and in Clayton County when you went in 2015?
I think so.
Ms. Bennett, is it fair to say you never said anyone kicked your door down?
Have anyone ever kicked my door down?
I'm asking a different question. I apologize if it's not clear. Is it fair to say that you never reported that Thug kicked in your door on Mother's Day?
No, I never reported he kicked in my door. You said I reported that I opened my door. I can't open it and he kick it. And that makes sense.
And that's why I said, is it fair?
Yeah.
You never reported that he kicked it.
No.
And is it fair to say that you never reported that you were shot on May 12, 2013?
I've never been shot. Unless y'all know something I don't know, because I ain't never been shot.
Ms. Bennett, thank you for being patient with us. If you give me just a moment, I'll do my questions.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there. Reason I am is because there's gonna be cross-examination in a minute. And I just wanted to show you the prerequisite. You can go back and look at this from 2 days ago, to Mr. Bean. And if I go back to it, you'll see in the history. Just one moment. If I go back to it, Lord, you'll see the history from right here, from Megan that I just showed you again. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to just let you see a little bit about the ins and outs of a trial and the way that she befriended this young lady and started off nice and neat and humble, and her whole demeanor changed. I don't know why. I don't know what was the reason, but right here is where I started. I started with this right here. So just kind of key in on this. This right here, 2, 1, and skip into, here we go.
I believe that from listening to the conversation between the prosecutor and Ms. Bennett, the prosecutor has interjected her personal knowledge and the facts of this case and has become an unsworn witness. That's a big problem, and that's what is called unsworn witness problem, because the lawyer is making factual assertions without being sworn. And when the lawyer is a prosecutor, that error goes to the heart of fundamental fairness and due process of law, and thus is a constitutional issue. And Mr. Williams and the others cannot receive a fair trial, because what has really happened, Your Honor, and this, I'll give you the cases, what really happened is now the jury has to determine, is Ms. Bennett truthful or is Ms. Prosecutor truthful? And that's not the way it's supposed to be. A lawyer shall not assert personal knowledge of facts in an issue except when testifying as a witness. Generally, the law prohibits a lawyer from acting as an advocate at trial where the lawyer is also becoming a witness. There is no doubt that assertions of fact from counsel as to the content of prior conversations with a witness have the effect of making a witness of the lawyer and allowing his or her credibility to be substituted for that of the witness. This practice is improper. And Your Honor, in Turner TUR-NER versus Louisiana, that's 379 U.S. 466. It's at 472 through 473. It's 1965 U.S. Supreme Court. In a constitutional sense, trial by jury in a criminal case is necessarily implies at the very least that the evidence developed against the accused shall come from the witness stand in a public forum with full judicial protection of the accused's right of confrontation and cross-examination by counsel. It's also a bar rule, and it's 3 Georgia Rule of Professional Conduct 3.7 comment 2, and as well as a Georgia Rule of Professional Responsibility Conduct 8.4A1. A lawyer cannot do indirectly what it cannot do directly, meaning the lawyer can't take the witness stand and become the advocate, and that's exactly what happened now. There are private conversations that we have not heard about between Ms. Bennett and the prosecutor. Ms. Bennett alluded to that on 2 occasions and said, you breached your word to me because they're supposed to be private. I don't know what those conversations were, except one is definitely dealing with a parent, it sounds like. There were several series of questions by the prosecutor. Isn't it true you told me? And then a separate section was, isn't it true that I told you? And whatever it is. And here, the prosecutor at issue repeatedly and specifically referenced conversation between herself and Ms. Bennett in a vehicle and on a courthouse bench, with the prosecutor repeating the statements. The prosecutor relied upon her own unsworn repudiation or statement of what the witness's statements were. We cannot confront her.
So basically, to sum it all up, put a bow tie on it, wrap it all up. This attorney overstepped her bounds. It's a bar rule, and it is a no-no. It is a bar rule. You're not supposed to ask questions that are in evidence and that puts yourself against the witness. And she just really messed up on this one. I wouldn't be surprised if they removed her from this case. That's the only way they can save the case, is to remove her. If the Judge Glanville, keeps her on the case after this testimony, then it will further show that Judge Glanville is biased and everybody is wrapped up in this together. You know, they go out to eat lunch together. They do all kind of stuff together. All of them. Ask Fannie Willis. She goes out with the prosecutor and dates the woman's husband, who's the prosecutor, and they all know each other. Even Ashley Merchant knows Fannie Willis. They were friends, were associates, and she claimed she didn't want to bring that charge to Fannie, but she couldn't wait. This is a political season, y'all, and we are just getting started. You haven't seen anything yet. I ran smack dab into it, and to get to the end of what happened to me and my son sitting in there, they totally berated me, said that my son is 26 years old. He can speak for himself. I have no business being there. Why am I there? I said, it's my son. I came here with him, and he's not accused, but he doesn't have a lawyer. I'm supposed to be with him. And I was over and over again berated by these individuals. And this woman told me the reason why we didn't find out that they dismissed and dropped a case that was important to me and my son is because she said that I was rude to her. In 2022, imagine 2 years ago, I was rude to her. And that's why they didn't further go and prosecute my son's case after he was shot 5 times. And I had to see him on the operating table when he got done being operated on, and listen to the surgeon say, your son's spleen has been taken out. His appendix has been taken out. We had to repair his intestine. We had to repair his pector muscle. We had to repair his arm. 5 bullets were at your son to take his life. And the grand jury on March the 23rd, 2023, after 1.5 years, turned in an indictment that this case should go to trial. And they dismissed that case, said they had no witness, they had no evidence, and there was a videotape with the guy with the gun on my son. All of this information was there. Witnesses were ready to testify. Called into the detective, his girlfriend, told them everything that happened, and they just dropped my son's case like that, and then called my son in there under the pretense that they were calling him in there to discuss restitution of that case. So you can imagine us feeling blindsided coming into that meeting. So no, we weren't ready to have a meeting or have a talk about any other thing. And I said we needed to leave. And they wouldn't even let us reschedule the meeting. They just wanted to put me out. And they told me I better leave. And then they called in 2 big dudes that you would find at a nightclub, white guys. And then Mr. Cook, whom I've never had a problem with, came in there saying, you need to leave, Miss Gay. And as I got up to leave, I was pushed out the door. They didn't wait for me to walk out of the door. The man put his hands on me, pushed me out the door, and said, "You need to leave." I said, "Don't you ever put your hands on me." I said, "I'm recording you right now. Don't ever put your hands on me. Marco, let's go." I told my son, "Let's leave." They shut the door between me and my son, and this man pushed me with both of his hands, shoved me into an elevator. I was not pushing back at him. I'm a slim woman. I weigh 145 pounds. This man weighed over 350 at least. And he used his hands on me. And they have video cameras in those hallways. And I got in that elevator, and my son came down later on, even though I pushed the button to go right back up, because nobody should be treated like that. And then you want us to trust you, DA office, Mr. Burchard, Mr. Cook, Mr. Gail Richardson. I'm after your job. You did not handle my son as a crime victims coordinator. I'm after your job. I'm after you. I want your head on a silver platter. And I want Mr. Burchard to lose this race. So if you are in Huntsville, Alabama, do not vote for this DA, because he simply dropped my son's case. Nobody followed through with us with any information, even though my son was following up on his case. So this is real life, guys. This is not phony. This is not fake. I called the next day to report her, and I was told that I was an unruly mom and I need to allow my son, he's an adult. He should have been there by himself. I said, let me tell you something. I birthed that son through my womb. And until my son is 30 plus years old, then he's still going to be my son, even after he's 30. And I said, I'm still going to be there to advocate for him. And I don't have to be disrespectful. And I was not disrespectful. And if I'm asking questions and him inviting me to that meeting is called disrespectful, then y'all need to lose your jobs. You do not need to represent me in this county, Madison County. So this is real life. This is actual facts. This is me being transparent with you guys, letting you know the system is not made for us. It's not made for us. It was built so that we would continue to be on a plantation, like Kanye West said. We're still in slavery after 400 years. I rest my case. I'm done. I hope I earned your like, and I hope I earned your attention for this election year. Fannie Willis, all of you guys that are trying to get our votes in this election year, saying whatever you want to say to get us on one side or the other. I don't believe in Democrat or Republican. I believe in what's right. I believe in the truth, and I believe in being treated right, whether you're black or whether you're white. Now I'm done. And it didn't matter that I can hardly hear myself. This is graceful exposure, and I'm going to keep bringing it to you raw and gracefully expose all of the hypocrisy that is going on in our system and against people like us. Take care. Bye.